Like the ingenuity of Liberians in and out of Liberia by sharing their successes, challenges, entrepreneur endeavors, and much more with the intent to inspire upcoming changemakers. The 1847 show also promotes the Liberian culture by creating a space for individuals to learn the history of our nation, to find solutions to problems that affect our country today. For this and much more, stay tuned for all things Liberian. We'll be right back after this short break.
Lucky ball.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. Listen. Mama Liberia, you will rise again. And more your friend and you will shine again. Nobody will look down on you again. I prophesy to you, you will regain your dignity again. All hill, Liberia hill. Red, white, and blue is where I represent for sure. This New Orleans or liberty shall long be for all of us. And I'm talking about one person, all of us. History said you been the cornerstone of Africa. You been a safe place when the free slave came back to Africa. That green pepper goes. Hey, Mama Liberia, I can't wait to see you taking over Africa. We got the power to do it, man. You are lifted. See your children there. Look at how they gifted.
Hello, my name is Grace Choma Baba, founder of Destiny Charity Organization and owner at Genesis Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
We at Peace TV help your loved ones and friends to see features of your programs on all social media platforms. Our services are of good qualities and very affordable. We render the following services: still pictures, video promotion, talk show hosting, live wedding coverage, funeral services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Book us today and have a memorable experience.
Hello, fellow change makers. At Project Change, we believe that real and positive change is achievable only when the youth realize they have what it takes to be change makers. This realization process can take multiple forms, but will require the efforts of change makers worldwide. We groom self-sufficient youth through our paradigm-shifting workshops and conferences. Through these initiatives, we unite and unlock the potential of young people by training them to be entrepreneurs and providing them with resources like microgrants to help them jumpstart empowerment within our immediate communities. One of the most notable of these is our biannual Changemaker Workshop. Through our first ever paradigm shifting workshop, we encounter young people passionate about helping steer Liberia towards productivity. However, they lack the resources and skill set necessary to initiate real impact within our immediate communities. The goal of the Changemaker Workshop 2023 is to produce such resources and skill sets. The workshop will bring together high schoolers from across Liberia and explore topics such as personal or career development, youth empowerment, financial management, and much more. During the workshop, the business plan competition will be hosted and allow participants to present a business-oriented solution to a social issue within their chosen region. Partner with us now, and together we can rebuild a whole Liberia and help transform the lives of thousands of youth. We ask that you kindly consider donating to our Changemakers workshop. Apart from monetary donations, we also accept new or used tablets, computers, books, and office supplies. If you are interested in partnering with us or donating any of these items, please email us at support@changeinliberia.org. Thank you, fellow changemakers.
Hey, welcome back. You're watching the 1847 show, and this is season 1, episode 5, which is part of our series called Social Entrepreneurs. This series highlights the efforts of changemakers who have found innovative solutions to solving social problems that affect our nation. And today, we'll bring all social entrepreneurs who have been interviewed on the show thus far to share their thoughts on the vitalness of social entrepreneurship in rebuilding a productive Liberia. However, there are 2 parts to today's show. After the initial discussion, the guests will compete in the 1847 show's Jeopardy game. The intent of the game is to allow us to learn the history of our nation so we can find solutions to problems that affect our country today. The show will donate a cash prize of $50 to the organization or business of the winner with the highest overall score. However, the winner may also donate the funds to another organization or business with a greater need. The show intends to use the funding to empower upcoming change makers operating new startups. Today, we have 3 guests. Our guest number 1 is Leo E. Tia, who is the Executive Director of the Youth Network for Positive Change, or UNEDPO. Mr. Tia is best known for his enduring efforts to promote youth empowerment across Liberia. Our second guest today is Pauline F. Gata, who is the founder of the Girls Health Alliance and CEO of the Girls Cares Cape. Ms. Gata is best known for her relentless efforts to advocate for young women education on their rights and sexual reproductive health. Lastly, but not least, our third guest today is Sonny A. McCarr, who is the founder and executive director of Leading Youth to Foster Transformation in Africa, or Lift Africa. Mr. McCarr is best known for his persistent efforts to give young people access to a wide range of career options. But before we start talking all things Liberian, don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment on the stream to stay engaged. We're now going to welcome our guest. Hello, Mr. Leo.
Hi.
Ms. Gata. And hello, Mr. McCall. How are you guys doing?
Well, I'm great.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead and get started. So the first question is, and like I said, you guys are welcome to chime in at any time. There's no specific order. If you feel like you have the best answer, you can go ahead and start speaking. So we all know that social entrepreneurship is like any other type of entrepreneurship, but the biggest distinctive factor with social entrepreneurship is that it allows us to take the profits made through social entrepreneurship to reinvest that in our community, which helps us to solve a social cause or a social issue. So why is this vital in the development of the Liberia that we have today? Why is social entrepreneurship vital? Any one of you can go.
Okay, so thank you for having us on this event again. And in response to your question, considering the current status of our Liberian government, considering the fact that there are low budgetary allotment for projects and other developmental activities, it is very significant that social entrepreneurs use their innovation to mitigate and help solve some of these challenges that our government is faced with. For instance, at most public schools, the government don't have sufficient funding to ensure that the institutions operate at a class B level. So as social entrepreneurs, it's important that interventions be made to help buttress government efforts? For instance, a social entrepreneur can decide to make donation of copybooks to students. A social entrepreneur can decide to make donation of educational materials to public institutions. So it's very important because it assists in the development of our contemporary Liberia that we have.
Nice, nice. Anyone else? Why is social entrepreneurship very important to help us develop the Liberia we have today?
Okay. Really, entrepreneurship play a key role into development within Liberia and like any other country in the West African region or around the world. So most businesses, companies, and social ventures do have something we call the corporate social responsibility. This is the CSR, and that basically is geared towards giving back to communities. But over the time period, we noticed that there are not too many of those companies that are really utilizing their social corporate responsibility to be able to benefit the communities. Because the intent of the social corporate responsibility is to be able to give to support the effort of government. That's why like companies like Firestone, like ArcelorMittal, and other companies that we even know that are consensual related, they have that responsibility to be able to give back to the community of which they are serving or they are doing their social activities in. So it is very important because like Firestone will say, for example, have the Firestone High School where they helping to impact the children of typos to be able to learn and acquire education. So they are all contributing to the government's agenda on education. So it is very important because with these various programs that come in from the various social corporate responsibilities, they help to strengthen the community and build a better life for the people of Liberia.
Awesome, awesome. Ms. Gata?
Uh, I would say social entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurs uh, help to promote country economies. What am I trying to say? If you look at the population of Liberia, about half percent of our population, is less than 25 years old. If you look at UNFPA statistics between the age, it's less than 25 years. And that alone tells you that young people constitute a high percentage of that number. And also, if you look at the unemployment rate in our country, like Liberia, is very, very high. A lot of all of jobs, and young people constitute a high number of that percentage as well. So social entrepreneurs help to create job opportunities. They help to boost the country economy. Another thing I would like to say, it helps to promote, youth empowerment, the employment of young people. As you may be aware that the Liberian economy is unfair to most women. And so I'd like to bring this point to say social entrepreneurship helps to reduce gender inequality, the issue of sexual, gender-based violence, sexual exploitation and abuse. Also, social entrepreneurship also helps to promote equal pay within our society. I've seen some people but if you look at the issue of salary, I be qualified, you might be qualified, I'm a female in the military, qualified by that post, but looking at the social implication, maybe that company will decide to pay that man or higher money than me, so we have the same qualification and the same degree. So in my own business, tell me I'm going to have the highest salary, I'm going to take care of myself first, so there will be equal treatment if we try to promote social entrepreneurship among women. A gender balance. So you want to promote gender equality, youth employment, the empowerment of young people, and violence to be reduced because none of the things see happening around. People are hungry, and when people are hungry, when there is no job, people tend to do a lot of things. People go earn. You see, corruption comes in. Entrepreneurship also helps. It helps to reduce corruption because. And that's why we should, encourage social entrepreneurship among young people. I would say under 25. If you start to have your own business as early as 16 years old, when you are 25, 30 years old, you already making money. So when you enter into a government position or other private places, I am sure that corruption is not going to be in your book because you already have the money. But when you are 40, 45, 60 years old before you get your own job. So I just like to stop here and say social entrepreneurship, help to boost the country economy, promote gender equality, youth empowerment, and as well as, it helps to, eliminate corruption.
Awesome, awesome. And you guys have pretty much stated it all. You know, social entrepreneurship can help us accomplish economic, environmental, and social goals. So do you think as social entrepreneurs like you guys are, do you think we should advocate for more social entrepreneurship amongst the youth rather than just entrepreneurship? If so, why?
Yes, it is very important that we advocate for social entrepreneurship among the youth because, like Pauline said, based on statistics and facts, youth constitute a bigger portion of our population. So imagine if youth themselves getting into action to create a change that will affect them, the youth who are in the majority, then that's a very good game to play. So it is important that youth get engaged in these kind of adventures to be able to help those that do not have the capacity or the ability to join and carry on such an entrepreneurship. So it's very, very much welcoming among the young people, but then it should be people who are passionate about what to do and willing to be committed to the cause to be able to affect the transformative change in the life of others.
Do you think we can get people to be passionate, or is that something they have to be born with?
Well, it's both ways. There are people that are born being passionate about what they want to do, and until they achieve it, they won't stop. And there are other people that get sparked by the passion they see in others, and then they become more passionate.
Okay, okay, very good. Anyone else would like to contribute? Should we advocate for more social entrepreneurship, or should we just preach entrepreneurship? And knowing that one of them has the difference of helping us solve a social issue, which one is more beneficial for Liberia at this current stage? Social entrepreneurship or just entrepreneurship?
I would say, social entrepreneurship.
Okay, so so
All right, go ahead, Ms. Pauline, and then we'll come back to Mr. McCarr.
Okay, I would say, social entrepreneurship. And if somebody was going to ask in between the Girl Scout Kid and Girls of Alliance, if I knew about 5 years ago, I was going to establish the Girl Scout, a social enterprise first before going to a non-profit. But it's very good because social entrepreneurs, help to contribute to social change around us. So we should have and we should encourage most businesses because it's not only about you making money like the Girl Scout Kids. It's not only that we make money, but even the profit, we are empowering girls and women. We are also striving towards any period of poverty. So there are so many things. Even if you are selling, you have a restaurant, you can contribute to something. Maybe you can say about 25% of your profit you are going to, like our previous speaker said. You can say maybe like 25% of your profit you are going to donate to a school, going to provide school fees. So you will be, contributing to social change in so many ways. So I would say we should promote social entrepreneurship. And if you have entrepreneurs listening to us right now, it don't necessarily have to be 25%. But at least you can take 10% of your profit and contribute to a social issue. Right there, right now, Liberia, I can tell you that, the growth and development of Liberia lies within our hands. The only way we can do it in our hands are entrepreneurs. So we want to encourage entrepreneurs to have at least 5%, whatever percentage is okay for you going towards a social issue. That would be very, very helpful for us. And before we look over a period of time, we are already done with the whole issue of high school dropout. We'll be moving to a higher level in our country.
Yes, but one might say the Bible is only requiring me to donate 10%. Why are you asking for 25%?
No, I don't want to restrain you. I'm not saying 25%. Whatever is quoted for you, but even it is least at 5%. At the end of the day, you can pay one person's school fee a year with 5% of your profits. I mean, some people 25% can be maybe like 25,000 United States dollars. That can contribute to a lot of things. So we should encourage that. I mean, it's not still bad. You can still transition from entrepreneurship to social entrepreneurship. Maybe you can contribute, I mean, 5%, 10% or 25%, whatever percentage to a local organization. Because like right now, there are a lot of young people that are passionate about social change, but they lack the resources. I mean, the funds to do those things. So entrepreneurs listening to us right now, please try to contribute to a social change. You know, everybody don't have the same skills. Maybe somebody will be good into the NGO area and you are good into business. So you can contribute to that direction because, I mean, sometimes we're not depending on the government grants everywhere, but even the private sectors, companies around us. We have big companies in Liberia. We should start talking about this is something that, even as we go into the 2023 election, our politicians, and I hope that my colleagues on this live video that we all promote social entrepreneurship, we should elect leaders that are coming on board to promote social entrepreneurship because they should put the power in our hands. I mean, they should give the power to us. Because if we can make our own money, president will come and go, but we will still in the country, a lot of people will be in power. So I think this is a very important message that we should try to preach, use this opportunity, especially during this political season like Europe. Thank you.
Awesome. Now, Mr. McCaw, you were trying to speak, but Ms. Gata was speaking as well. So you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So in response to your question, I go with social entrepreneurship because I feel it maximizes the development of human resources rather than maximizing profit. And in our context, we need more social entrepreneurs because if we have to grow, there need to be support to individuals who are from poverty stricken ends, people who are from marginalized communities. So, in as much as these two aspects solve challenges in our current society, uh, social entrepreneurship is more of important to us because it maximizes the human resource development more than profit.
Yes, and I think with social entrepreneurship, we're kind of killing, two birds with one stone, right? We're making profits and we're at the same time solving a social issue. So personally, I would advocate for social entrepreneurship just because you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping your community. And we all know the impact that that can have with, just generally not just the economy, but also the social life and the standard of living within the community. So I personally would advocate for social entrepreneurship as well. Now, with every good thing, there is also a bad side to it. So the bad side of social entrepreneurship is people who have bad intentions. So you can see a social problem, and as an entrepreneur, you can try to solve that problem, which would make you then a social entrepreneur. So we're talking about the issue of Tom's Shoes. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Tom's Shoes. Basically, there's this guy who saw the need for shoes in a community within Africa, and he decided to make a factory for shoes. Now, his goal is that whenever people buy his shoes, he will then donate a pair of shoes to these people in Africa that need shoes. Now, looking at that from the surface, you might think this guy is a great guy. He's trying to help a need in Africa and he's trying to solve a social problem. Well, not to say he's a bad guy, but when you say that you want to produce shoes for African, things that you're implying is that Africans are not able to produce their own shoes. Africans need you to produce their shoes. And now, is he also guaranteeing Africans that he's going to be around for the entire life spans of all Africans to produce shoes for us? And what happens when he's not in the picture? Are we no longer going to wear shoes? No. So when we are solving our social problems, we need long-term solutions. So how do you think we can tackle problems of people who genuinely want to help, people who want to donate to help issues in Africa or in Liberia, how can we best partner with those people to make sure that the way that they're helping is effective rather than, infuriating to the Liberian culture or the African culture?
Okay, so basically, looking at the experience that you provided, it is something that it is very important, right? Because a lot of people want to do good, but then the way to go about doing it again, it turned out to be the other way around. It tend to be a problem. So I think basically the alignment of the specific need should be assessed, right? Like for example, take for example, this company have a social corporate responsibility to build schools and hospitals, but they don't have. They just build the schools and hospitals and then turn it over to government. They're not providing any additional support to ensure that the school keep running or the hospital or the clinic keep running, till time indefinite. So if they just build it and turn it over to the government is not having the capacity to really uh, maintain the hospital, the clinic due to some budgetary constraint that is always in the face of every government. So that become a very good adventures, but again, it is a challenge because if the building is there and there's no good doctors, there's no good teachers. So I think it is important that we advise people to really invest in something that is more sustainable. Something that is more sustainable could be investing in doctors, right? Investing in not the respect that we cannot build structures, but investing more into the human capital. It is more something that will live a long way, because if you invest in doctors, if you invest in teachers, these are things that will be more sustainable, because when a person is a doctor, they don't get a change knowing what they have learned being a doctor. They either decide not to do work within their profession and do something else, but they still maintain that knowledge. So I think there are other ones at the community level that can be sustained. Take for example, if you establish a girls club, for example, in a community that is basically focused on talking about girls and women issue at a community level, and establishing a boys club where they will talk about young men should not beat on women, or men should not beat on on women. So at that early stage they get to know that it is bad and it's not good. So when they get big, that particular activity is being sustained, because when they get big they have already getting used to learning that it's not good to beat on a woman. So if he or she get big, he will not just do it so easily, because it is something that have been grown within him and is living with him now. So these are the things that we should basically focus on. Social entrepreneurship basically focus on investing in things that are more sustainable than the ones that will just be a quick impact project, and afterward there's nothing to maintain. It become a problem, because like in the case of the hospital, if we don't have good supplies, we don't have good doctors, so you just build a structure and leave it, but there's nothing there, so it's still a problem. Thank you.
Yes. And I think a part of that also involves just people who want to help, knowing that Africans are very much capable of solving African problems, that Liberians are very much capable of solving their own problems. We might not have the resources, but we have the knowledge, the skill set, the experience, everything else needed to solve our own problems. So if you want to help Africans or if you want to help Liberians, make sure that you're speaking to a Liberian, you're working with a Liberian, and have them be the decision makers, not yourself. So moving on to the next question, just because we're running a little short on time. Uh, you guys run different social businesses, businesses that solve social problems, ranging from employment, education, on health rights, and computer literacy. Do you think that upcoming change makers can survive in a current economy like Liberia without being innovative or becoming some sort of entrepreneur?
So, well, innovation in every field is very key to the survivability of an institution or an individual. So I see it as impossible to survive in this current setting without innovation. So, in order for social entrepreneurs to thrive in whatever venture they are in, they need to be innovative in the first place. Because if you're not, you are going to be discouraged based on circumstances. You are going to encounter problems. There are numerous problems that social entrepreneurs encounter. And without innovation, you cannot mitigate these programs and be able to find solution to your own objectives. So innovation counts very well, and that is something that I believe my colleagues have been able to survive on over the years. The last time my colleague spoke about grant fatigue, and he also spoke about the termination of their grant contract. So that brought in an innovative solution. As a head of his institution, he was able to provide an innovation which continued their project, and that was something that I really applaud him for.
Awesome, awesome. Anyone else? Do you think that a change maker can survive in the current state of Liberia without being innovative?
Oh, typically, I would say it was just not be easy. Yeah, really, it won't be easy. So, innovation matters, right? It matters in every stage of the way. So, let's take for example what we are currently working on at UNEPO, right? We notice that the issue of us working in a space that we will have to pay rent all of the time, it is a challenge. uh, Looking at the donor fatigue, where donors are not really putting in like before, funding screens are very tight. So we've identified that there is a need that we either purchase a building or we buy the land and build our own office space. So with that, we become more sustainable because we wouldn't have to pay rent. No matter what, even if we don't have anything to give our volunteer or to run them to our staff or our volunteers, but we have a space that we can operate and make the impact that we want. Another thing, looking at UNEPO to be a non-for-profit, but we're looking at a for-profit endeavors that we will engage in, and then in the end, the proceed is being used for the non-for-profit. So these are innovations that we need to do because the space is getting tight every day, and there are new people joining the space also every day, and everyone have their own connects, everyone have their own way of doing things. So it is a competitive process that if we want to keep making the impact that we're doing now, we cannot do away with innovation. Innovation is the key to everything. Thank you.
Yes, yes, I agree. Ms. Gata, do you have anything to contribute?
Leo and Sony just got it right. You cannot easily survive at being innovative. You just have to be innovative, and social entrepreneurship is just one of the ways to it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So now we know that social entrepreneurship promotes long term sustainability. How can people who have a mission set that is not really socially driven or social entrepreneurship driven, how can they convert that so that their mission can now be also considered a social entrepreneur endeavor? Basically, you started off and you're not promoting any social cause, but you're a nonprofit or you're a business. How can you convert that so at the same time you are serving a social cause and you're still making profit?
Like when I spoke first, I talked about, look at your profit. Like for Girls of Alliance, we started completed not yet about the guest care kit, but when we start donor fund is no grant, so we had to be creative, and that's how we came. We said, okay, we can produce and sell the reusable part because we are also providing.
Your internet is breaking out a little bit. Yes, I don't know if you guys can hear her, but I stopped hearing her. Okay. Looks like it's back on. You might be muted, Miss Gata. Nope, still can't hear you. Still can't. But somebody else can go ahead and continue while she tries to fix that. Yeah.
Can I get the question again?
So basically, how can someone who started off with, not necessarily solving a social cause or not being a social entrepreneur, but how can they convert their business to one that is solving a social entrepreneur cause or maybe and making profit at the same time? How can they do that?
Okay, so like I stated earlier on, during my first response to the first question, is that every business institution, be it small or big, you have a social corporate responsibility to the community that you serve. So even if it is a tea shop, even if it is a whatever you may think about, but when it's a business that is within the confines of Liberia, you have a social corporate responsibility. So what is that? A lot of people don't feel that they're supposed to have a social, they're supposed to give back to the community because maybe their profits are small or their groups are small. But it is something that is under the business law of Liberia. So what can be done now to transform them is that I think there need to be awareness because a lot of people don't know. Take for example, there's this group that normally provide some support to your network. They are Pathway multi-purpose investment company. They are printing price. Most of the time, we have them branded on most of our publicity items. So what happens is that Pathway is a printing price, but then they have decided that whenever we are doing anything relating to printing, maybe if they're copybooks, maybe if they're t-shirt for our conferences or meetings, agenda, anything that has to do with printing banners, they will definitely do it for free of charge. So if you calculate the costs that we were to do that, if it is being budgeted for, it is already taken away from us. But then Pathway is still making the profit they want to make as a business entity, but yet instead they are contributing to a non-for-profit cost. So everything don't have to be in cash. Some can be in kind. You don't have to literally look at maybe Girls Health Alliance and give them 50,000 or 100,000, even 1,000 or even $100. Where you can identify something that it is useful to the work that they do, and then you donate it to them regularly or you provide that support. So I think it's a transition from being from awareness, from people being in know that they're supposed to do it. It doesn't matter how big or small you are, but it's just a matter of giving that little contribution to society. Because if you get your shop in the community, there are a lot of people in the shop that buy from your business and they promote you. So what can you give back to the community in another form? So I think the issue of awareness will help to transition people. But I believe the barrier is that most people don't believe that they're supposed to do it. We all literally focus our attention on companies like maybe Metasty, Firestone, and other big companies who believe that they are the only ones that should be giving social corporate responsibility back to the community. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Good contributions. And before we go ahead and take a short break and transition into part 2 of the show, I just would like to give an opportunity to one more person to speak on that before we can do so. So anyone else, if you would. If you're speaking, I believe you're muted.
Yes, sure. So basically, as it relates to addressing social problems as entrepreneurs, we firstly have to recognize that this problem do exist. Having recognized that there's a social problem, we have to develop a passion for it, and we have to get ourselves involved in solving it, because one way or the other you might be affected by that social problem. Come to think about it, you have a small business in your community that is always being burglarized by criminals. You have this social entrepreneur who's trying to create awareness against drugs addiction and abuse in your own community. That social problem is going to help provide security for you. So as an entrepreneur, you need to recognize that this is important. You have to develop the passion that if I support this cause, is going to reduce the risks of insecurity, is going to reduce the rate of crimes within your community, which is going to create a safe space and secure environment for your business or whatever. So it comes from our self-awareness. It comes from our passion to ensure that our community is safe from whatever social issue that is confronted with. So um, entrepreneurs need to develop the passion. They need to recognize that these social problems that are being solved are going to one way or the other affect them. So they need to develop the passion and they need to support it.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any last thing to contribute about the topic before we transition? Just generally, it doesn't have to relate to the question. All right. If not, we'll take a short break, everyone, and we'll be right back.
Ah, lucky ball.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. Listen. Mama Liberia, you will rise again. And more your friend and you will shine again. Yeah. Nobody will look down on you again. I prophesy to you, you will regain your dignity again. All hill, Liberia hill. Red, white, and blue is where I represent for sure. This rural land of liberty shall long be for all of us. I'm not talking about one person, all of us. History said you been the cornerstone of Africa. You been a safe place when the free slave came back to Africa. That green pepper ghost. Hey, Mama Liberia, I can't wait to see you taking over Africa. You ain't got the power to do it, man. You are lifted. See your children, look at how they gifted. You gave birth to the first.
Hello, my name is Grace Choma Baba, founder of Girls of Destiny Charity Organization and owner at Genesis Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things like you. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things like you.
We at Peace TV help your loved ones and friends to see features of your programs on all social media platforms. Our services are of good qualities and very affordable. We render the following services: still pictures, video promotion, talk show hosting, live wedding coverage, funeral services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Book us today and have a memorable experience.
Hey, welcome back. You're watching the 1847 show, and this is season 1, episode 5, which is part of our series called Social Entrepreneurs. This series highlights the efforts of changemakers who have found innovative solutions to solving social problems that affect our nation. Now it's time for the 1847 show Jeopardy game. The intent of the game is to allow us to learn the history of our nation so we can find solutions to problems that affect our country today. All guests will compete to win a cash prize of 50 United States dollars. The 1847 show will donate the cash prize to the organization or business of the winner with the highest overall score. However, the winner may also choose to donate the funds to another organization or business with a greater need. The show intends to use the funding to empower upcoming change makers operating new startups. So I'm going to bring the guests back on the screen, and we will go ahead and get started. Awesome. Share my screen here quickly. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Sure.
Awesome. Can you hear me still?
Sure.
Hearing you still.
Okay, 1 second. All right, let's see here what's going on. All right, so this is the 1847 show. It's the Jeopardy game, which is a standard game across the world, originally invented in America. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll go over the rules just for the audience. The participants are already aware of the rules. So next slide. So the rules of the game, first one being we'll take breaks in the middle of the show to be able to calculate the scores and get feedback from the audience as necessary. To begin the game, I'm going to ask a general question to the participants, and the first person to answer that general question will be allowed to start the game. However, there will be no point given for answering that question. Now, the game is started by the participants selecting the category followed by the total points. So, for example, we have several categories, which are these. So if you want to select Liberian history, you will say Liberian history for 200 points. And, the higher the point value, the more difficult the question is. Now, our responses to answer a question must be in a question format. So if we say, for example, what is the capital city of Liberia? You have to answer back and say, what is Monrovia, not just Monrovia. If it's a person, you will say who is. If it's a place, you will say where is. If you fail to phrase your question in a question format, you will be reminded once. And if you do not correct your answer, it won't count even if it is correct. Now, while you are trying to correct your answer, if somebody else jumps in and corrects it first before you do, the answer, the points is going to be given to them. Now, after choosing to answer a question, all participants will have about 10 seconds. And to answer that question, the points will be given to the first person with the correct answer. So you do have to work with speed and time. So hopefully your internet is cooperative and you can get this happen. The next one is the individual who correctly answers the question will be given an opportunity to select a question in the next round. So if you answer a question and you got it correct, you will be able to select the follow-up category and question or point value as well. If no one, however, responds or selects to answer the question after 10 seconds, I will announce the answer. And then the individual who last answered a question will be allowed to go again. So looks like we have some comments in the chat here. Let's see what people are saying before we get started. So Aaron Peters, he's watching from 72nd Junction. And if you guys know him, he says he's proud of you, son. I believe that's Mr. Tia he's talking about. So that's just some of our feedback here. And then we have Jaye saying, my name is Jaye, and I'm watching you guys from Nizo community. Thanks to the 1847 show, to our leaders for the impact. Congratulations to Sony McCarr. I'm proud of you, and thanks for making Lift Africa. All right. So thank you guys for staying engaged. We'll go ahead and get started here. Do you guys, the participants, have any questions before we do? All right. Awesome. Awesome. So the general question that I'm going to ask is everyone, whoever is the first to answer will be the first to go. So hopefully you are ready and hopefully your internet is good. But my general question is, what time zone does the show uses to make its announcement on the start time of the show? What is the time zone?
What is GMT?
Awesome. Awesome. Correct. Correct. I like that you're already going with the drift. So, Mr. McCall from Lyft Africa, you will be the first one to officially start the show. So, again, you can go ahead and select a category, and then you can select a point value. So, the higher the point, the more difficult the question is, and everybody will have the same equal chance to answer that question. So, please go ahead.
So start with government and politics.
Mm-hmm.
1,000 points.
1,000 points. He's going for 1,000 points, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. All right. It says the Liberian Constitution of 1847 modeled this country's constitution. Anybody can answer this question? We have 5 more seconds.
What is the United States of America?
That is correct. That is correct. What is the United States of America? So we'll go back to the panel, and I'm going to annotate your point value. Please also keep record of your points. All right. So Mr. Tia, you get go next. Pick as you can see right here, this category is no longer available because we have already answered that. So Mr. Tia, you get to pick the next category and point value.
Government and politics, 800 points.
Yeah, I know we have plenty of other category here, right? All right. You said 800?
Yep.
Okay. Now, again, anyone can answer this question. You do not have to wait. If you know the answer, just make sure you're wording it in the best way, but you can answer it. So the question is, the Coalition for Democratic Change consists of these 3 political parties.
What is the Congress for Democratic Change?
Yes.
What is the National Patriotic Party?
Yes. One more.
What is the Liberian People Democratic Party, LPDP?
Wow. Wow. Awesome. 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 What is 800 points you just earned yourself? Okay. I'm going to take note of that. 800. All right. So go ahead. A category and a point value again. Keep going.
Okay. We'll take 600 points, Liberian history.
Awesome. Awesome. Pauline, before we select that, Pauline has some difficulty. Are you hearing us now, Pauline? Just making sure it's fair for everyone. We can see you. Can you hear us? Okay. She just dropped off. Seems like she's having some connection issue. But because of time, we'll go ahead and continue again. You can always redeem yourself by coming back. There is no winner yet until the show is over. So you said government and politics for 600, if I remember?
Yeah.
All right. Let's make sure Ms. Pauline. Hey, Pauline, can you hear us now? Can you hear us? Oh man, I hope she's able to. But let's go ahead and select that. All right. The term Liberia means.
No, I'm not hearing you from. I'm not hearing you from this side. I'm using my other phone, so I'm hearing you from this my page, but I'm not hearing from the studio.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but can you guys hear me? Can the other participants hear me? The term Liberia
Yeah,
means.
I'm hearing
No,
you.
I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing from this side.
I'm getting you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Pauline, if you can, just try to join from a different device, but I'm not sure what's going on. All right, so we can go ahead and answer the question. The term Liberia means.
Yeah, Prince. I said like Liberian history. I didn't say government and politics.
Oh, you said Liberian history. All right, so that question would just void it. So we'll go to Liberian history 600.
Yeah.
All right. So Liberian history 600. These two Liberian individuals jointly won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2011.
Who is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Emma Bowie?
That is correct. So Mr. McCaw, that is 600 points for you. Now you get to pick a category and a point value for the next round.
Same category, 1,000.
So Liberian history for 1,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Liberian history for 1,000. Due to the territorial incursions by the British and French, this organization encouraged Liberia to declare independence.
What is the American Colonization Society?
That is correct. Wow, very impressive, Mr. McCaw. Awesome. So that's 1,000 more points for you. All right, go ahead.
Well, I'm not good at sports, so let's go social entrepreneurship.
For how many points?
800 points.
All right, Pauline, it looks like you're back with us. Can you hear us now? Hello? All right, I'm still not hearing her, but if you can hear us, go ahead and say that. But you said social entrepreneurship for 800?
Yes, sir.
Pauline, can you hear us? I think she's still having difficulties, but we'll go with social entrepreneurship for 800, right?
Yes, sir.
This organization is a nonprofit foundation ran by an active Liberian politician. All right, 5 more seconds. Okay, no answer.
Who
The answer,
is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf?
nope, that is not correct. So we will subtract 800 points from you. Unfortunately, that is not correct. I will, let me annotate that. So that's why you got to be careful when you're answering the question. Minus 800 points. Okay, the answer is, what is the Cummins Africa Foundation? It says active Liberian politician, active Liberian politician. To my knowledge, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has been done with Liberia as far as politics. Cool. Now, Mr. McCaw, you get to pick a category again since he got that wrong.
So social entrepreneurship, 1,000 points.
Okay. This youth-led organization is headquarters in Gaytown Old Road and has an international branch in the United States.
What
Who is Project Change International?
Okay, Mr. Tia, you said who is, and then Mr. McCall said what is. So the correct answer goes to Mr. McCall.
I like that.
Okay, so 1 second, let me annotate that. So we're not going to subtract any points from you, Mr. Tia, just because you got the question wrong because of how you answer it, not because it's the wrong answer, if that makes sense. So that was for 1,000 points, Mr. McCall. All right. Mr. McCall, you still got the stick. You can go ahead and pick a different category. Ms. Gata, are you hearing us now?
I don't think she's hearing us. So we move to category the 1847 show, and we for 600 points.
The 1847 shows 600 points. All right. What is the gender of the first person into the show?
What is female?
Awesome. Awesome. That is correct. So, Mr. McCall, we have 600 points. Okay, you still have the stick, so you can go and pick another category and point value.
Let's talk about Liberian history again and 800 points category.
Okay. Liberian history and 800-point category. The question is, Black colonists who ruled Liberia between 1847 to 1980 were called?
Who were Congo people?
That is incorrect. That's going to be minus 800 points. Anyone else? We still have time on the clock.
It's America, Liberia, Congo.
All right, the time is up. The correct answer is, what is Americo-Liberian?
Wow.
I think I heard somebody whispering that too, so could have redeemed yourself. Awesome. So since no one answered that question correctly, Mr. McCall, hold on. Still back in your hand.
Okay, social entrepreneurship 600.
This nonprofit organization is named after the 24th president of Liberia and helps promote women's voices in Africa.
What is the Joseph J.K. Robert Foundation?
That is incorrect. Minus 600 points.
24th. Okay. I don't know. Jesus.
You can still answer. We got about 3 seconds on the clock.
Okay. What is the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Presidential Center?
That is correct. However, now you don't have any negative or positive, so you're back to 0. So you're good.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go back now. It's back to you, Mr. Tia.
Okay, 1,000 points.
Sports and entertainment for 1,000.
Yeah.
All right. Now we've had 10 people watching consistently for the past 5 minutes, so this is very entertaining, and people are enjoying you guys, your answers. So you guys are doing good. So sports and entertainment for 1,000. The only Liberian artist scheduled to perform in the canceled 2022 Lost in Rhythm concert.
What is sorry, who is Kobazi?
That is incorrect. Minus 1,000 points.
Jesus. That's great.
All right. No one else? The correct answer is who is Panto? Who is Panto? All right. Since no one else answered that, we'll go ahead and move on. Now, Mr. Tia internet seems to have gone bad, and also Ms. Gata is off. So we can go ahead and take a break now and calculate the scores, and then we'll be back whenever somebody can rejoin.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Pauline, can you hear us now? Pauline, can you hear us? All right, let's take a break, guys. We'll be right back.
Hello, but can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. But we're taking a break and we'll be right back.
I'm not hearing you.
Hello, my name is Grace Choma Baba from the Girls of Destiny Crazy Organization and owner at Janice's Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
We at Peace TV help your loved ones and friends to see features of your programs on all social media platforms. Our services are of good qualities and very affordable. We render the following services: still pictures, video promotion, talk show hosting, live wedding coverage, funeral services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Book us today and have a memorable experience.
Hello, fellow change makers. At Project Change, we believe that real and positive change is achievable only when the youth realize they have what it takes to be change makers. This realization process can take multiple forms, but will require the efforts of change makers worldwide. We groom self-sufficient youth through our paradigm-shifting workshops and conferences. Through these initiatives, we unite and unlock the potential of young people by training them to be entrepreneurs and providing them with resources like microgrants to help them jumpstart empowerment within our immediate communities. One of the most notable of these is our biannual Changemaker Workshop. Through our first ever paradigm shifting workshop, we encounter young people passionate about helping steer Liberia towards productivity. However, they lack the resources and skill set necessary to initiate real impact within our immediate communities. The goal of the Changemaker Workshop 2023 is to produce such resources and skill sets. The workshop will bring together high schoolers from across Liberia and explore topics such as personal or career development, youth empowerment, financial management, and much more. During the workshop, the business plan competition will be hosted and allow participants to present a business-oriented solution to a social issue within their chosen region. Partner with us now, and together we can rebuild a whole Liberia and help transform the lives of thousands of youth. We ask that you kindly consider donating to our Changemakers workshop. Apart from monetary donations, we also accept new or used tablets, computers, books, and office supplies. If you are interested in partnering with us or donating any of these items, please email us at support@changeinliberia.org. Thank you, fellow changemakers.
Hey everyone, welcome back. And we now have Miss Gata back. Can you hear me now, Miss Gata, per the guide? Can you hear me now? I don't think she can hear us still. And then Mr. Leo, you're back too. Mr. McCall dropped off the call.
Oh my
So
God.
we'll give him a few seconds here. But we do have the results back here. Who's in the lead as of now? So we have first place, Mr. McCall is in the lead with 2,400 points. And then Mr. Leo, he did some excellent comeback, but because he also had some bad answers, now he's back to 0. Good thing is he does not have negative points because negative points would take away from you. And then Miss Gata has been having some connectivity issues. So because of that, she hasn't been able to contribute, which also puts her at 0. So Miss Gata, can you hear me? Because if you can, then we can go ahead and get started since we have 2 people. All right. So maybe LEC went on his side as well. But we have a couple more questions left. And let's see here. We have some feedback here from the audience. First one says, congratulations to the 1847 show. I'm following from Changsha City, Human Province in China. My name is Mamadou Gray. Thanks for joining us. And then we have someone here that says, watching from Tanzania, Emmanuel VK. So thanks for joining us as well. And Miss Ali says, don't forget to use what is, who is, where is before your answer. Of course, you guys have been doing great with that, so thank you for contributing. Mr. McCall is still not here, and Ms. Gata is still having internet issues. Looks like Mr. McCall just rejoined, so we'll probably still move on. Give me a second. All right. Mr. McCall, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, your camera is currently off. Okay, there we go. So we can go ahead and resume. I just announced the scores so far. So we have you in first place with 2,400 points. And we have Mr. Tia right behind you. Even though he's been doing well, he's also hasn't been doing well at the same time. So he has 0 points because his negative and positive kind of offset each other. And then Miss Pauline, because of her internet, she has not been able to contribute, so she also has 0. Now, keep in mind, with this game, you can lose points at any time, and you can gain points at any time. So there is no winner for sure until the game is done. I am so proud of Miss Gata. She just keeps trying and trying, and I have never seen anyone so resilient. If she wins this game, the show will probably double the percentage on that. All right, Miss Gata, can you hear us now? Hello? All right, we can go ahead and get started. So where did we last leave off? Who was the last person to pick a question and got it right?
I was the one, but I didn't get it right about sports and entertainment, and I picked the
Okay.
1,000 points, but I didn't
But
get
no
the
one else
answer.
got it right, right? Nobody else got the question right.
No.
Yeah, so I want to get the answer.
So it goes back to you, Mr. Tia. So go ahead, pick a category and a point value.
I would love to know the answer so that,
Or what was it? You said for 1,000 sports and entertainment?
yeah.
That was Panto.
Oh
Okay, that
yeah,
was
it
it.
was Pronto. It was who
Okay,
who
okay,
not yet selected. I think I did mention that.
okay,
All right, so
okay.
let's move on.
Let's go to all Liberian things. 1,000 point.
No. All things Liberian. That's our
Oh,
motto.
sorry,
Guys.
yeah, sorry. All things
Awesome.
Liberian.
1,000 points.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that if you don't get this right, you will have negative 1,000.
Let's go. Live is about rates.
So all things Liberian. This individual, the Liberian national anthem.
Who is Edwin J. Barkley?
That is incorrect.
Really? But we have two items, just
Who
specific.
is Daniel Bashel Warner?
Oh my God.
Yes, that is correct. So minus 1,000 points for Mr. Tia. And then we'll give Mr. McCall 1,000 points. All right. He said we have two national anthems. Oh man. All right, Mr. McCall, go ahead and select a category.
Okay, all of the categories have been taken, so let's go back to Liberian history 400.
Liberian history for 400. The Liberian flag has 6 red stripes and blank white stripes. We have about 5 seconds left. The answer is 5 white stripes. What is 5 white stripes?
Okay. Yeah, it's 5, but how do we formulate with using what or who?
It's what is 5 white stripes?
Okay. All
right. So we'll go back. Since no one answered that, Mr. McCall is back to you.
Okay, so we do away with the Liberian history 200 points so that we move on.
All right, Liberian history for 200. What year did Liberia gain its independence?
What is 1847?
That is correct. So plus 200 for Mr. Tia. All right. So now you have negative 800. All right. So Mr. Tia, you can go ahead and select a category and a point value.
Sports and entertainment, 800 points.
He's trying to come back. All right, sports and entertainment for 800. Country Soda is an album released by this artist in 2017. Country Soda is an album released by this artist in 2017. We have 5 seconds left. Correct answer is who is Bucky Raw? And if you haven't listened to Country Soda, you're wasting your own time. Who Who is Bucky Raw is the correct answer. So back to you, Mr. Tia, since no one answered.
Yeah, 600 points. Sports and entertainment.
Okay. The question is the 2021-2022, pay attention to the date, edition of the county meets was won by this county.
Who is or what is, because I think it's a place, Nimba County.
That is correct. What is Nimba County? So plus 600 for Mr. Tia. All right. Cool. So back to you, Mr. Tia.
400 points. Sports and entertainment.
Maurice Touch Gayflor goes by this stage name. Maurice Touch Gayflor goes by this stage name. So we're looking for his stage name. 5 more seconds.
Who is Colorboy CRC?
That is correct. Please, I hope we're not utilizing our internet and Google. That is not allowed. Not to say that you are doing that. Next time we'll make that announcement from the beginning. But that is correct. So plus 400 points for Mr. McCaw. All right. So now back to you, Mr. McCaw. You get to choose a category and a point value.
Sports and entertainment, last point.
So sports and entertainment for 200. The LFA is the abbreviation of this sports institution.
What is the Liberia Football Association?
Mr. Tia got it right for answering first. What is the Liberia Football Association? That is correct. So Mr. Tia for 200 points. So back to you, Mr. Tia, a category and a point value.
Okay. All things Liberian, 800 points.
All things Liberian for 800 points. The question is, the Lone Star Forever was written by this individual who later became the 18th president of Liberia.
Who is Edwin J. Barkley?
That is correct. Who is Edwin Barkley? You said his name first, but you just said it for the wrong question. So Mr. Tia for 800 points. So please go ahead and pick another category and point value.
1847 show, 1,000 points.
Okay, the man trying to come back. Oh, be careful, Mr. McCaw. He's coming back.
Yeah, sure.
The 1847 show for 1,000 points. And your question is, the middle name of the show's host is? Five more seconds.
Lamy.
That is correct. Who is Lamy?
That's good. Wow.
I love saying my full name. So if you don't know it, then you don't know me. All right. So that's 1,000 points for Mr. Tia. That was a very risky one because if you get it wrong, you lose 1,000 points.
Lose 1,000.
All right, we'll go back. Mr. Tia is still in your court. So please select a category and a point value.
Okay.
But before you do, somebody said for that question, Sadia Pesinaba said, I know the answer. So she knew the answer.
Oh.
So thank you for following, wow. Sadia. So go ahead, the next one.
The next one, all things Liberian, 600 points.
All right, all things Liberian for 600. The question is, the physical office of the president is called?
What is the executive mansion?
What is your correct? That is correct.
Oh, I stole the thing from my mouth. I love that.
That is 600 points for Mr. McCall. Now it's back to you, Mr. McCall. So please select a category and a point value.
The 1847 show 800 point value.
Okay. The website of the show starts with this word. With which word? This is for 800 points. The website of the show starts with which word? Five more seconds. The website of the show starts with which word? All right. The correct answer is bit. B-I-T. Starts with bit. All right. So back. Now, since no one answered that, Mr. McCall, I believe you have the stick still.
Okay, so we move on to the 1847 show 400 point category.
All right. Complete the sentence. The 1847 show ...
Host Prince El Jabo.
That is not entirely correct. So I'll give you an opportunity to rephrase your question.
Oh, okay. What is Prince El Jabo?
That is not entirely correct. 5 more seconds.
Oh. Who is Prince El Jabo?
Still not correct. Time is up. The correct answer is what is with Prince El Jabo.
Oh,
with Prince
Jesus.
El Jabo. It's the 1847 show with Prince El Jabo.
I was stuttering.
So because you had the answer, you just didn't have it, we will not subtract any points for that. You are on the right track, but not the correct track. All right. Now we'll go back to you, Mr. McCall, since no one answered that.
Okay, so the 1847 show 200 points category.
The show social media handle is what?
What is Restream?
That is incorrect. So minus 200 points.
I lose a small amount. It's almost too easy.
5 more seconds. Mr. Tia, you don't want to take any risk? All right, time is up. The correct answer is what is at the 1847 show. That is our social media handle at the 1847 show on all platforms. All right, so now we're down to 3 categories, specifically government and politics for 200 and 400 points. We also have social entrepreneurship for 200 and 400 points. And we have all things Liberian for 200 and 400 points. So back to you, Mr. McCall, since no one answered that correctly.
Government and politics 400.
Government and politics 400. The question is the total number of ethnic groups in Liberia.
What is
ethnic ethics group in Liberia?
That is incorrect. Minus 400 points from Mr. McCall. All right, Mr. Tia, you sounded like you were trying to answer.
And I stole his answer, so that means You was treading on the wrong path.
All right.
Wow.
He was standing like you. You show him the correct path. All right, time is up. The correct answer is what is 16 ethnic groups? 16. So you came close, but yet too far. All right, since no one answered that question correctly, it's still back to you, Mr. McCall.
Social entrepreneurship 400.
Right. This sports facility in Carisburg is named after the current Liberian president. Got to give the full name of the facility. This sports facility in Carisburg is named after the current Liberian president.
What is George Manenwea technical sport pitch?
That is partially correct. Gave you another opportunity to try again. 5 more seconds.
What is, or who is, instead of who and a what?
We take whatever.
What is the
All right, time is up. The correct answer is what is the George Weah Technical Center?
Oh,
Not sports pitch.
okay.
So since you were on the right path, we're not going to subtract anything. It's just you don't get any point for that. All right. So back to you, Mr. McCall. A category and a point value.
All things Liberian 400.
All right. Finish the phrase. Simple mistake.
What is you are out?
Partially correct.
What is you out?
That is correct.
I like that.
All right. Plus 400 for Mr. McCall. Simple mistake, you out.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're down to 3 categories, respectively 200 points each. Mr. McCall, you have the stick.
All things Liberian. Obviously, it's 200.
All right. The first female president of Africa.
Who is Her Excellency President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf?
That is correct. Plus 200 for Mr. Tia. Back to you, Mr. Tia. You get to select a category.
Social entrepreneurship, 200 points.
All right. An event intended to raise money for a social cause or social causes. An event intended to raise money for social causes.
What is a campaign? A social campaign.
That is partially correct. 5 more seconds.
What is a fundraising campaign?
That is correct. What is a fundraiser?
I like that.
So plus 200 for Mr. McCall. All right, now we only have one left, so we're going to go ahead and select it. And since Mr. McCall, you're the last one, the question is, the Liberian government has blank branches of government.
What is 3 branches of government?
That is correct. So 200 for Mr. T. All right, that concludes our game. We'll take a short break to add up the scores, and we'll be right back. Stay tight.
Hello, my name is Grace Choma Baba from the Girls of Destiny Charity Organization and owner at Genesis Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
help your loved ones and friends to see features of your programs on all social media platforms. Our services are of good qualities and very affordable. We render the following services: still pictures, video promotion, talk show hosting, live wedding coverage, funeral services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Book us today and have a memorable experience.
Hello, fellow change makers. At Project Change, we believe that real and positive change is achievable only when the youth realize they have what it takes to be change makers. This realization process can take multiple forms, but will require the efforts of change makers worldwide. We groom self-sufficient youth through our paradigm-shifting workshops and conferences. Through these initiatives, we unite and unlock the potential of young people by training them to be entrepreneurs and providing them with resources like microgrants to help them jumpstart empowerment within our immediate communities. One of the most notable of these is our biannual Changemaker Workshop. Through our first ever paradigm shifting workshop, we encounter young people passionate about helping steer Liberia towards productivity. However, they lack the resources and skill set necessary to initiate real impact within our immediate communities. The goal of the Changemaker Workshop 2023 is to produce such resources and skill sets. The workshop will bring together high schoolers from across Liberia and explore topics such as personal or career development, youth empowerment, financial management, and much more. During the workshop, the business plan competition will be hosted and allow participants to present a business-oriented solution to a social issue within their chosen region. Partner with us now, and together we can rebuild a whole Liberia and help transform the lives of thousands of youth. We ask that you kindly consider donating to our Changemakers Workshop. Apart from monetary donations, we also accept new or used tablets, computers, books, and office supplies. If you are interested in partnering with us or donating any of these items, please email us at support@changeinliberia.org. Thank you, fellow change makers.
Lucky ball.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. Listen. Mama Liberia, you will rise again. And more your friend and you will shine again. Yeah. Nobody will look down on you again. I prophesy to you, you will regain your dignity again. All hill, Liberia hill. Red, white, and blue is where I represent for sure. This rural land of liberty shall long be for all of us. I'm not talking about one person, girl, all of us. History said you've been the cornerstone of Africa. You've been a safe place when the free slave came back to Africa. That green pepper goes. Hey, Mama Liberia. I can't wait to see you taking over Africa. You ain't got the power to do it, man. You are lifted. See your children, look at how they gifted. You gave birth to the first African.
Hello, my name is Grace Choma Baba from the Girls of Destiny Charity Organization and owner at Genesis Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
We at Peace TV help your loved ones and friends to see features of your programs on all social media platforms. Our services are of good qualities and very affordable. We render the following services: still pictures, video promotion, talk show hosting, live wedding coverage, funeral services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Book us today and have a memorable experience.
Ah, lucky ball.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. Listen. Mama Liberia, you will rise again. And more your friend and you will shine again. Yeah. Nobody will look down on you again. I prophesy to you, you will regain your dignity again. All hill, Liberia hill. Red, white, and blue is where I represent for sure. This rural land of liberty shall long be for all of us. I'm not talking about one person, all of us. History said you been the cornerstone of Africa. You been a safe place when the free slave came back to Africa. That green pepper ghost. Hey, Mama Liberia. I can't wait to see you taking over Africa. You ain't got the power to do it, man. You are lifted. See your children, look at how they gifted. You gave birth to the first African.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So welcome back to the show. We have our winners here, and our guests are still with us. We're going to announce it and then wrap today's edition of the show. Thank you for joining, and the moment we've all been waiting for, right? So, all right. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for your participation. I hope you had fun, and most significantly, I hope you learned something about not just Liberia, but our culture as well. Would you guys like to give any feedback about the show before we announce the results? About the game.
Oh well, the game is great, and really, I'm impressed, and I want to steal the game for our upcoming event in July, right? At the IA conference. I see it to be so interesting. I really, really appreciate. It's a mind blowing, kind of a game. Like, you get you thinking. It's nice. It's fun. So I really, really like it, and thank you.
Awesome. And I can send you the template for sure. I can send you the
Yeah.
template. You guys can use it, and I can even answer any questions you might have about it.
Okay, great. That would be
Okay,
great.
Cool, no problem. Mr. McCall, any feedback? We're trying to make sure that you guys can see your honest feedback before we announce the winner or losers, because people can get sour after you announce the winners.
Okay, that.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm so much happy that I was able to participate in the event. It has to do with critical thinking, especially where you have to use who or what to respond to the question. So it's not that some answers are not available, but while you are thinking whether to use who or what, then you've gotten caught up with time, or you have said something that you weren't supposed to say. Like the 16 tribes, it shall actually been 16, and I was thinking about the counties, and then I just mix it up. So it's kind of interesting, and we would love to use it at some of our events.
Again, same thing. I can send you guys the templates. Just reach out to the 1847 show email, and we can send that out to you as well. Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. Now we'll announce the winners. So coming in second place, we have Mr. Tia with 2,200 points. So congrats on that. And then for first place, we have Mr. McCall with 3,400 points. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, very
So
well
much
deserved.
excited.
That is $50 that can be donated to Lift Africa or to any organization or institution of your choice. And we will donate that money within a matter of a week, depending on when you're able to get that information to us. We can send it through SendWave, we can send it through MoneyGram, etc. So any feedback for being the winner, Mr. McCall?
Well, excited. This show is going to go a very long way. That is something I'm optimistic about. And being the first winner, being one of the first participants, brings so much joy to my heart because tomorrow, when I'm old, dead, and gone, and I can watch the event and see that event, I was the winner, the first winner, and I was also one of the first participants.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Tia, any feedback about being so competitive? You could have came back easily.
Yeah. Right. Like I said, I love the game. It's great, and I want to congratulate the winner, Mr. Makar. That's great. It was a
Thank
real
you.
fun, right? Like that was great. So I'm grateful to the 1847 show for this opportunity to have the last time I felt bad when I was on the show, and then a lot of due to I will call it nature, I'm calling like the current issues of nature, and then it happened today again. But then LEC restituted himself. They came back in a short
Also,
period of time. So yeah, so I'm grateful that we having and then you emerge as winners, and I wish you all the best with whatever decision that will come out, whether to another organization, whether to your institution, whatever way it may go. The issue is the impact I will make. So I want to congratulate you, and then also to Prince and team. Thank you for this show. I'm willing always to appear, no matter what the time is. Today is Saturday, is one of my busiest day when I deal with community related issues, but I still had to make it a comeback, but it's good. So I want to say thanks, and I hope to be called upon anytime. I will definitely appear on the platform. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for your contributions, not just during the show, but also during the discussion as well. It's unfortunate that Miss Grace Baba wasn't able to join, and Pauline was here for the discussion, but her internet could not permit her for the game. So thank you guys for your participation. That pretty much concludes the show. You have been watching the 1847 show, and I've been your host, Prince Larmi Jarbo. Don't forget about that. That was a question in the during the game. And this was season 1, episode 5, which is part of our series called Social Entrepreneurs. To watch upcoming episodes, please don't forget to follow the show on social media at the 1847 show. Until next time, stay safe. God bless you, and God bless Mama Liberia.